Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Super Geeked. I'm Victoria, and today I have another What's Sold video for you. I'm trying to get caught up on the last few months of what's been selling for me on all the platforms I sell on, which is eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, and Mercari. So you may be thinking, how is this relevant? Because it's a couple months ago. This is going to be my April sales. Well, for the most part, I would still pick up all these items today. And if I wouldn't, then I'm gonna tell you. I hope that you enjoy these kind of videos. I certainly love watching what sold and seeing what is selling for other resellers out there. And in saying that, let's get into what sold for me in April of 2023. So first up, since my most recent video, which I'll link above, is about paying up for items, items that I get retail arbitrage. I buy from a liquidation store here in the Southeast called Dirt Cheap. If you're interested in that, I did put out a video a few days ago where I paid about $24 an item, and you can see what I'm willing to pay up for. And so let's start with the items that I paid up for that sold in April. So first item I bought at Dirt Cheap. It's by a black female designer named Autumn Adegbo. And she has beautiful, beautiful dresses that she creates out of African inspired fabrics. They are absolutely stunning. And I was able to pick up one of her dresses. It was new without tags. This was from a Nordstrom buyout at Dirt Cheap. And I actually paid $41 for this dress. It sold in 58 days, so just under 2 months, for $250, which was my full asking price. It sold on Poshmark and fees were $50. Shipping was nothing, the buyer paid, so I made $159. So this is an example of an item that I'm willing to pay up for because I can get top dollar for it and I get a great return on my investment, and I only had to list one dress to be able to make that $159. And I've said this in multiple videos, my business model that works best for me is that I like to find items that are going to sell for a higher price point because I have to put less work into it. If you're a fast nickel kind of reseller, then you're, buying things for on the low and selling it for, a cheaper amount. Sometimes you might have some big sales, definitely there's always the exception, but you're about moving product quickly, and that's okay. That's just not how I choose to run my business. And the reason why this works for me is I'm a busy mama. The whole reason that I am a reseller is to have more time to be available for my children. And so this is just what works well for me. I don't want you to think that this is the only way to resell, because it's certainly not. And I do sell items for lower price points, lower returns, but when I'm out, I am seeking out these items that are going to give me more profit so that I don't have to spend a lot of time listing, photographing, inventorying, all of that. And by saying that, also, I wanted to let you know that my average sale price for the month of April was $57.54. That's just $1.50 less than what I made in March. So my average sale price went down just a little bit. I was at $59 and change for March, but I like to stay around that price point. So that's still really good. And my average cost of goods for all the items that sold in the month of April was $7.93, which is a little higher than March. So I definitely had a better return in March, but that will fluctuate as always. Okay, next item that I paid up for, I bought from the same Dirt Cheap on the same shopping trip, and it was a brand that I've told you about before. It's called House of CB London, very popular with celebrities. They make bodycon dresses, absolutely beautiful. The Kardashians wear these dresses a lot. This dress I paid, again, $41 for. It sold for $244 on Poshmark. Poshmark took $48.80. And I do use a bot called Posher VA to send out offers to anyone that likes an item in my closet. So if you're on Poshmark and you heart an item, my Posher VA within a few minutes is going to send you a 20% off offer. And I have that built into the listing price. I don't even think about it. It does it all on its own, and I don't have to send out offers unless I'm going to do a large bulk discount, more than 20% off. and I'll do that maybe once a month or twice a month depending on how sales are going. But this offer was sent by Poshmark VA, so I do give a shipping discount, because when you send an offer out on Poshmark, you have to give a shipping discount unless you do it in a bundle. So this was $2.02 was the discount, and so I made $152.18. So again, another great piece I paid up for that I made a good return on. This was not an item that I picked out or purchased on my own, but I did get in a mystery box. I recently put out a video that I'll link above about how I'm not buying thredUP mystery boxes anymore. Gone are the wonderful days of being excited that a thredUP box was on my porch and couldn't wait to open it. I'm just not doing them anymore. I am doing much better sourcing on my own. But this was a Coach handbag box. I have made a small profit on this box. The Coach boxes to me seem to be hit or miss. This was probably the best handbag from that box, and it took 542 days to sell. It sold on eBay. I had paid $20 an item in that Coach handbag box. It sold for $150.95. Fees on eBay were $21.39. Shipping was $10.48, and I made $99.08. So I did still pay up for this item because it was $20 in that mystery box. But I'm just sticking with my gut and my experience when sourcing for my resale business. Let's talk about a couple of BOLO items. Theory for me is sort of a bread and butter brand. I've talked about Theory and Vents can be hit or miss, but there are certain pieces that will sell for a higher price point. These were some Theory pull-on trousers, so they're like the Ponte knit. These I have found do really well, and I sold these on Poshmark for $70. I had paid $1.54 for them at the Goodwill outlet. Fees were $14 on Poshmark, and so I made $54.46. So Theory, I pick up the dresses, if they're a newer style. I pick up the blazers, and then these Ponte knit stretch leggings seem to do really well. Okay, I have mentioned this in several videos. These are coveralls. They can be called flight suits, mechanic suits. They have all kinds of different names, but these are just BDG Urban Outfitters. But I have sold this style in vintage, in bread and butter brands, mall brands, high-end brands, you name it. These are so popular, and I don't know how much longer they're going to be popular, but if you find them out now, I would recommend picking them up. So I bought these in New Orleans when I was there thrifting with my girlfriends. They sold for my full asking price of $65 on Poshmark in 29 days, so just under a month. I paid $8.33 for them at the thrift store. Fees were $13, and I made $43.67. Tyler Bow is an expensive dress brand. This was a tweed dress that I picked up at the Goodwill outlet in Jackson, Mississippi, and it sold on eBay for $60.95. Just a beautiful tweed with a fringe on it. Really pretty classic. I had paid $1.54 at the bins. Fees were $9.05. Shipping was $8.79, and I made $41.57. So definitely keep an eye out for Tyler Bow. Totally a bolo. Okay, Hugo Boss, probably not a surprise, but it depends on what the item is. This is a pencil skirt. It was new with tags. I got this in a mystery box that I bought from another reseller that was going out of business, and it was a great box. I wish that she still was making them, because probably the best mystery box I've ever gotten. I've made so much money, and then this is probably the last piece to sell. It sold for $96.75 on eBay. I had paid $9.90 an item in that box. Fees were $15.35, and shipping was $5.17. So I came home with $66.33. So even with the Hugo Boss basic pieces, definitely look them up, and if you can get them for a good price, then maybe try them out. I've talked about this brand too before. I am definitely a dress seller, so Shoshana is a great brand to keep your eye out for. Now, this is just a cover-up. So it was an open lace dress that had a tie waist that you could cinch, so you could wear it as like a little baby doll dress. You could layer it. You could use it as a swimsuit cover-up. It sold on eBay for $64.55. Sourced it for $3.32 at the thrift store in New Orleans, I believe. Fees were $8.91. Shipping was $4.69, and I came home with $47.63. Now that is just a cover up. A lot of times I find the nicer dressy Shoshana dresses and they can do even better. And then another bread and butter brand that I mentioned in my last What Sold video, Vince. Just like Theory, they're kind of on the same like tier as far as reselling. This was a rolled sleeve shift dress. I sold it on eBay in 26 days. So again, less than a month for $54.75. I had paid $7.73. And after fees and shipping on eBay, I made $34.38. All right, let's talk about some not so great sales maybe. First up, or maybe even surprising that they didn't sell faster, you know, those sort of sales. First are some J. Jill pointed flats. I actually thought about keeping these for myself because they were a size 11. I have big feet, so I'm a tall girl. And they were these pretty sage heels. I got them at the bins, but I just didn't like them that much to keep them. I like money more. So I did decide to go ahead and sell them, but surprisingly, and this may be true with other J. Jill shoes, I'm not really sure. I've only sold J. Jill shoes a few times, but they all seem to sit. This took 507 days to sell on Poshmark. I figured with the bigger size it might take a little less time, but nope, it took that long. It sold for $30, and then after the amount I paid for them at the bins and fees, I came home with $20.69. So I'm probably going to be really maybe not picking up J. Jill shoes unless it's in a really cute modern style. Another item that I wouldn't pick up, I like to sell good American jeans. I like to wear good American jeans, and you probably saw that in my last video where I had purchased a couple and I paid up for them, but that was for me. However, the other clothing items do not do as well. I purchased this before I'd ever even found my first pair of good American jeans. It took 1,023 days to sell, and I purchased this on Poshmark during the pandemic, so I paid up for it thinking it might be a good buy, and it just was not. So it's a good American camo top. It had gold stars down the sleeve. I thought it was really cute, but it only sold for $25. After that much time, I had paid $14.26 for it, something I would never do now. But of course, that was a long time ago. Fees were $5, and so I made $5.74. Okay, and another pair, I don't know if I would pick these up again. I didn't actually source these. I got these in a thread-up shoebox, but they were pristine, beautiful, tall moto boots. I thought they were going to go super fast because they were such good condition. And, you know, I got a couple offers that I didn't take. Maybe I should have taken them, but I really thought they were going to go for more. They took 969 days to sell. And that's with relisting them too. So they sold on eBay for $110.95. So you're like, Victoria, that's great. Well, yeah, but they sat forever and I didn't know if they were ever going to sell. I had paid $6 for them. Fees were $14.74 and shipping was $16.01. So I made $74.20. So still great profit, not complaining, but I was just really shocked at how long it took to sell them. All right, let's talk about a couple vintage pieces. The first one sold on Poshmark. I bought this in Richmond, Virginia when I was on a road trip. It took me a little bit to list it, but it also sat. And I think I don't do really well with Disney stuff. I'm just gonna be straight up. I did sell a really cool retro bag that you'll see in an upcoming What Sold video, but that belonged to me and it was something that I would take to Disney when we were taking the kids when they were little. But as far as clothing, I just haven't had the best experience. So this was a vintage denim Mickey Mouse top, or you can wear it layered like over another shirt. But it took 434 days to sell on Poshmark, which, you know, I had a couple people that seemed interested in it over that time and they just never bought it. It did sell for $65. I had only paid $5.79 at the thrift store. I think it was a Goodwill in Richmond. Fees were $13 and I made $46.21. So it was still a good sale, but y'all, it just took a really long time. And I'm just really gonna be picky with Disney stuff that I pick up because you may have great luck with it, but for some reason, I don't know, whoever's shopping with me, they just are not into the Disney. And it's sad because I love Disney. So next vintage piece is gonna be this LaBelle 90s polka dot dress. I had so much interest in this dress, but no one really just pulled the trigger on it. It sold in 45 days on eBay for $65.95. I purchased this also in New Orleans for $8.33. And after fees and shipping, I made $43.62. That is definitely a style that I would pick up again. I'm really good with sourcing 90s items because I was in high school in the 90s. Everything that's on trend is stuff that like I was into in high school. My friend Bob just put out a video. I believe it's her most recent What Sold video, and she was talking about how the 70s were popular in the 90s, and you'll see a lot of that with vintage. Like in the 80s, there was a lot of 40s silhouettes that came back into style, but just modernized. Same thing with the 90s. 90s really was into the 70s. You saw a lot of like hippie, flower power, that sort of like look in 17 magazine, you know, when I was a kid, when I was in high school. So yeah, that's definitely, I feel like I have a little edge above maybe some of the younger resellers because I wore 90s and Y2K. I was that age. And so, you know, I kind of just can spot it across the room. And a pair of shoes I just wanted to mention real quick. Eileen Fisher. I do have a love-hate relationship with J. Jill and Eileen Fisher. I have been picking up a little bit more Eileen Fisher, but it's just maybe the sell-through rate isn't as great as I would like it to be compared to some of the other stuff that I sell. This sold in 69 days. It was a cute little sandal, and I did have to do a little bit of repair work on it. I do paint leather if leather is damaged. I have a bunch of sets of leather paints, and I will mix the leathers until I get the correct color. These were tan, so I had a tan, but it was too dark. I added a little bit of cream leather paint, fixed them up. They were beautiful, and they sold for $52 on Poshmark, and after fees and shipping and my cost of goods, I made $29.43. So I do like to save items if I can, or, you know, if I get something home from the thrift store and I didn't look over it well enough, which happens to all of us, then I definitely will lean into my ability to be able to sew and paint and clean and all these sorts of things to make these items ready to resell. And I just wanted to add this one sale just sort of like as a joke. So when we were all in the cult of Poshmark, when, you know, you first join and it's Posh Love and, you know, you see all these resellers and, you know, Posh Boss and all this stuff, which I don't think that stuff is as exciting and fun anymore. But we were all in it, and, you know, my girl Alicia and I met by throwing a Posh and Sip in our area. That's how we met our friend Tanya and some of our other reseller friends that we're still close to today. So anyway, I got this Posh Fixing sweatshirt. I never ever wore it. I probably paid way too much for it. I don't even remember how much I paid, but I did go ahead and sell it because I'm not gonna walk around with a Poshmark sweatshirt on. I also have some license plate covers I need to list, and I have a box of stuff from when we used to throw Posh and Sips, like napkins, balloons, like those little cardboard things you hold up for picture for photo ops. If you want to throw a Posh and Sip, girl, I will mail you a box because I got lots of stuff. And you can have it. I will not even charge you shipping. If you want it, just send me a DM on Instagram and you can have all my Poshmark stuff because I don't see ever using it again. Anyway, I decided to list my sweatshirt, but I did sell it on Poshmark for $28. So yeah, glad that dude is out of my closet because it was just taking up space. And also glad we've all seen the light with Poshmark and their culty behavior. Although I ain't hating on Poshmark because Poshmark is where I make the majority of my sales. I still love it as a platform. It's just the whole Posh Love thing, and that's so like 2019, 2020. Yeah, see ya. All right, before we get into bread and butter, one of my top favorite brands to sell, as you know, is ModCloth. So I'm just gonna talk about a couple pieces. First is this precious Swedish Treat Fit and Flare ice cream dress. I actually own this dress myself. I love this dress, it's really cute. It's sold on Poshmark for $40. And after deductions, I made $25, $23. I am coming out with the ModCloth video that I have been teasing forever. You're gonna get the first installment next week, so stay tuned for that, along with probably another what sold video, because then I'll be all caught up. I'll do my May what sold, and we'll be done. We'll be ready for June when June ends. The next one is a piece I thrifted. It's a ModCloth Retrolicious, which is going to be a brand I talk about. Constellation glow-in-the-dark dress, really cute. I got it in New Orleans. I paid $7.34. It sold for $52 on Poshmark, and after all the deductions, I made $32.24. Okay, this is a brand that's sold by ModCloth, but this is actually a unique vintage dress. Unique vintage is very similar to ModCloth. I'll talk about ModCloth and the history of ModCloth when I get into that video, so you maybe will have a better understanding. But this dress, actually, Alicia sourced for me. I'll pop up a picture of us thrifting. She found me this dress and thought it would be great for me, and it actually was my size. And I found her a hoochie dress. that would be her style. So sorry, Alicia. We're always ragging on each other. So anyway, there's this cute picture of us holding up the items we sourced for each other. But anyway, I did buy this dress, not for myself, but to resell. It sold in 11 days on Poshmark. I paid $6.97 at America's Thrift Store in Mobile. It sold for $44, and after fees and a shipping discount, I made $26.21 on that. And again, all the shipping discounts are going to be from offers from Posher VA. If a customer on Poshmark sends me an offer, then there's no shipping discount, but you have to put in a shipping discount. And a lot of my sales come from those offers from Posher VA. So I'm really grateful. If you're interested in trying out Posher VA, there is a link in the description below. You get a discount and I believe 2 weeks free to try it out and see if it works for you. It also shares my closet for me. I share every other hour, 24 hours a day. I don't even have to think about it. It shares when I'm sleeping. My friend Alicia put out a funny reel, TikTok, whatever you, whichever platform you're on and want to view it. And I recommend you going over there and checking it out. But it is it's about the swipe, you know, if you share on your own on Poshmark, it's like this. So anyway, it's really cute. Go see it and drop a comment and let her know how much you like it. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. Next up was a ModCloth navy dress. This is a sleeveless A-line. This is another dress that I actually own myself in a couple of colors, but this was one I purchased to sell. It sold on Poshmark for $38, and after the cost of goods, which was $4.62, fees of $7.60, and the shipping discount of $2.02, I made $23.76. So pretty much bread and butter, but also great sales. So let's get into the last mix of bread and butter. First is J. Crew. I love selling J. Crew. This was a cute little wrap dress that I got at the bins. It sold for $30, and I came home with $20.41. Graylin is a brand that is sold by Anthropologie sometimes. This was a cute little crop trench. I bought this when I was up in Tupelo at my attorney's office. Long story, maybe I'll tell it one day. But I definitely hit the thrift store anytime I'm out of town, and so I picked this up because it was cute and it was new with tags. It sold for $55 on Poshmark, and after cost of goods and fees, I made $35.72. I've mentioned in lots of what sold videos, especially my last one about Levi's Premium. These were the Levi's wedgie. Again, I also told you that the wedgies in both the Premium, which is the ones that with the leather patch, or with the paper patch, are one of the most popular Levi's styles, so sometimes it's still worth picking up. These sold for $45 on Poshmark, and after cost of goods, fees, no shipping discount, I made $26.58. Okay, Bowden. Bowden is another bread and butter brand for me. This was just a jersey knit floral dress that I purchased thrifting. It sold for $35, and after my cost of goods of $4.43 and Poshmark fees of $7, I made $23.57. Some Nike Zoom running shoes. These were men's. I believe I got these in an America's Thrift Supply box. They sold for $45, which was my full asking price on Poshmark. I had paid $8 an item. The fees were $9 and I made $28. Anthropologie Meadow Rue, sort of an older style Anthropologie, but it sold for $44 and I came home with $24.90. Lululemon Aviva. This is a children's line that is no longer made by Lululemon, but it sold in 2 days, so I wanted to mention it. So if you see it out thrifting, definitely get it. It sold for $24 and I came home with $13.59. So Aviva still sells, even though they have not had the kids line in a bed. And I'll just mention a couple more sales. This was Madewell, cute little ink spot shorts. I do still pick up Madewell from time to time. It depends on what it is. These sold for $45, which was my full asking price, and I took home $28.58. Pistola, another bread and butter jean brand for me. I really like to sell them. These sold for $30 on Poshmark. Another Bowden dress that sold in 33 days, so just over a month. It sold for $47 and I made $27.85. A Torrid dress. I don't pick up tons of Torrid, but this was my dress. I'd had it for a very long time, probably 2012 or 13, but it was really cute, collared and had little hearts all over it. It sold for $44, and so I took home $33.18. And last sale I'm going to share with you is this Anthropologie 11Cs jumpsuit. I do like picking up 11Cs. It's an older Anthropologie brand, but it still seems to sell for me, especially the pants. So these sold for $35 and I came home with $21.03. So that's my sales. I did a lot of sourcing in the month of April because my girl Gorgeous came, and Alicia from Murray Life, Tanya from Double T's Treasures, and then Jessie from Gorgeous and I thrifted all over the Gulf Coast, from New Orleans to Mobile. Sorry, camera died. Anyway, Jessie came to hang out with us and we thrifted all the way from New Orleans to Mobile to Jackson, Mississippi. Even our friend Chris, Cajun Reseller, came out and met up with us in Jackson. So I did a lot of sourcing in April. So I have been working my butt off, listing, and the sales have been rolling in. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like and do all the YouTubey things, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.